In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to reveal 6 high potential stocks to watch like a hawk in June 2025 that offer potentially really strong short-term profit potential. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you these stocks, but I'm also going to give you the trading strategy for how to potentially trade them so you can make some quick, easy profits. And before I go into all of that, I'm just going to give you a very brief market update of what is happening so you can get a big picture of how all of these stocks and the trading strategy will play into everything. So yeah, if you're excited to watch this video, why not subscribe to the channel to get more content like this. Before I get into it, I am in the full active honesty and transparency. I'm not a trading expert, I'm not an investment expert, I'm more of a guide. So basically I get a lot of my information from the likes of Jeff Brand and Larry Benedict. What I'm going to share with you today, Larry shared in one of his updates in one of his awesome one ticker trader stock picking and advisory service. So I'm going to share what he revealed in one of his latest updates. So yeah, I'm just passing on information to you to help you guys out. So, you know, to give you ideas and trade ideas, so hopefully you can take action on them if it makes sense to do so. Also, if you want to join One Ticker Trader, it's my favorite sort of short-term stock trading service. I'll leave a link in the comment description below and you get all the details what you get and if you want to join. Anyway, on to the video. So a brief market update. So the markets have actually recovered really well from the big falls we saw earlier in the year. Over the past month, I've just got some notes here to keep me on track. Over the past month, the Nasdaq is up 7.64%. The S&P 500 is up 4.86%. And many of the major stocks are up as well, especially the AI stocks. So the market is really buoyant. Larry's getting the feeling that investors are getting really excited. A lot of the indices are near record highs, and people are getting really excited. But I think there's a warning sign here. The market feels a little oversold. I mean, given that there's a trade war going on, the war in Ukraine is ramping up again, and also the US government is carrying so much debt as well, and there's all sorts of different plays here that could really bring the markets crashing down again. So the big picture here is, whilst things are very buoyant at the moment, there is potentially trouble ahead, and Larry's expecting there to be a lot of volatility in the markets as we move through summer into the autumn and really for the rest of 2025. But don't be scared of volatility, because if you can predict when volatility is going to happen, you can make potentially some really good short-term profit. So now you've got a brief insight of what's happening in the market. Basically, markets are buoyant, but I think there's volatility ahead and potentially there's going to be a market correction. I'm going to give you these 6 shares for you. Now, the first 5 shares, just to give you a little bit of information here, we're going to be using slightly more advanced trading strategies with the picks I'm going to give you. And also, these are not trade alerts. I'm not saying to go and buy these straight away. These are for you to go away and research and get extra information on. So I'm just sharing information for you. So you've got to be responsible. Go and do your research. And also, if you want to play them, plan how you're going to get in and out. But if you want to do that, I strongly advise you for a Larry Benedict, who offers, he gives trade alerts on these. So if you really want to go in on these trades, I advise you join his One Ticker Trader. But I'm going to share these shares with you so you can basically go away and research them. Now, the first 5 shares I'm going to give you, you're not going to buy the shares in them. These are basic options plays. Larry's expecting these shares to become very, very volatile. And the beautiful thing about options is you can use options to profit if the share price goes up or goes down by using call options. So if you think a stock's going up, you buy a call option. If you think it's going down, you buy a put option. And you're going to profit off the premium of those shares. So basically, you basically want to make more premium than you bought the option for. That is the basic strategy here. So here we go into the shares. So the first one is the Invesco QQQ Trust Series 1. That's one of first of the shares that we're it's going to be a strong theme this month for QQQ. Basically tracks the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is very tech heavy. It's in a lot of the big tech stocks and the AI stocks, so they're very high at the moment. There could be a correction, potentially causing volatility again, and to play the stock short using options. So that's the first pick. Now the second pick here is the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. Now this trust, excuse me, is an ETF fund. And basically, it tracks the price of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is an awesome trade, sort of financial asset to play the volatility using options. And now, obviously, there's a Bitcoin Trust ETF. We can now use options to trade this and basically play off the price volatility of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has been going up, but the Bitcoin Trust ETF, or IBIT, has made Larry and his readers and myself some really good trades earlier in the year. I mean, there's been 8 trades already in this, and Larry's expecting more volatility ahead as June potentially rolls on, especially through the year. So the iShares, put my teeth back in. The iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, or IBIT, is definitely a share that you want to be paying close attention to, because when volatility is signaling, good time to potentially get in. Next one is the iShares 20-year Treasury Bond ETF, TLT. Now this fund is tracking the US bond price, and basically, with bonds, if yields are really high, prices are falling, and vice versa. And at the moment, yields are really high, which means prices are low, and Larry's expecting there to be a flip potentially. So the TLT ETF fund is one that's going to be very, it's worth paying very close attention to, because you can trade the flip in price and the volatility. Next one is the SPDR S&P House Builders ETF. XAB is the ticker. Now, at the moment, house building or house builders are struggling a bit, because I've read from Larry's report or update, the 700 billion properties in sale in the US at the moment, and supply is outstripping demand, which means that house builders are struggling to sell new property, which basically means that there could be some really good volatility in the house building market in terms of shares, but also in this ETF fund. So that's potentially going to be a strong theme through June. And the last one I want to give you is the United States Oil Fund, USD. Oil is, oils and oils always a great asset to trade. And obviously with war in Ukraine going on and the Middle East war still rattling on, the United States Oil Fund is one you always want to keep in your back pocket, because you can play any volatility or potential big moves before they happen. So you can make some profits using options. So those are the first 5 shares I'm going to really heavy themes for June. For these, you don't want to buy the shares, you want to be playing them using options. And like I said, if you don't know what options are, but you want to learn how to trade these using options, and you don't want to figure it all out yourself, I'd strongly advise you join Larry's One Ticker Trader service. He's 40-year veteran at this elite level. He'll teach you how to trade options and also give you all of the trade alerts for all of these shares. So yeah, my advice is, if you don't want to figure it all out for yourself, I'd join One Ticker Trader. Now, the last share I'm going to give you, this is a different strategy. This is basically a leveraged ETF. This is the ProShares Ultra Pro Short QQQ, or SQQ leveraged ETF. Now, leveraged ETF is basically an ETF fund, but it uses debt to magnify an index or share that is following. Now, in this case, this is basically following the index or the fund QQQ, which follows the Nasdaq. And basically, it's the whole point of this fund is to give 3x the daily return of the QQQ Trust Series 1. And this is actually this is like a short. So the point of the SQQQ is not to profit if QQQ shares go up, but if they're going down. So this is to short the QQQ because the QQQ has been going up. But Larry's expecting there to be a a flip, and we could be seeing a downward correction in price for the QQQ fund. Hence why he's really eyeing up potential. Well, he has actually got an open trade in SQQQ. So that's another share we're looking into, but it's again using not a normal ETF but a leveraged ETF to magnify the gains or the any drop in price from the QQQ. And like I said, the whole point of this fund is the target is to make 3x daily returns of the QQQ. So for example, if the QQQ falls 5% in a day, the SQQ will make 15% return. So it's an excellent leveraged ETF to make good short-term profits. You never want to hold these things for more than 2 to 3 weeks. So those are the 6 shares that Larry is watching very closely in June. I'm going to be watching closely, and I think there's going to be potentially some really good opportunities amongst all of these 6 shares to make some nice profits. Maybe not all of them because it really depends on the setup, and the whole point of trading these is to spot a flip in the price or volatility, get in before the volatility happens to magnify your profits. So that is what I've got for you. If you want to go deeper into these trades, I strongly advise you join Larry's one ticker trader service, but one of them is the best options and leverage option service out there, and also for making short-term trades. If you want to join, I'll leave a link in the comment description below. I've also created a free AI one-page stock report. It's just gives you 1 page brief update on the AI market, and also there's free high growth stocks on AI stocks in there for you to go away and research. If you want that, just put AI brief down in the comment description below and I will send it to you. Anyway, that's what I've got for you. Hope you found the video useful and informative, and I'll speak to you soon.